Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Right now at 5, wasting no time. The Biden-Harris administration gets right to work, making big changes quickly. A look at what's in store for these first 100 days. Finally, a break in the case of a woman murdered in Bakersfield last May. The woman suspected of killing her, on the run for 8 months, is arrested. And public health experts say the twindemic of high influenza and COVID-19 case numbers that they'd feared so far hasn't materialized. A look at where we are now with flu cases compared to last year. Today is Thursday, January 21st, 2021. Good morning, Kern County, and thanks so much for starting your day with us on this Thursday, this Friday, Junior. We're getting closer to the weekend, and it's going to be shaping up to be a pretty nice weekend, although I have my fingers crossed for the rain that Kevin's been talking about. Maddie?
Yeah, I mean, nice because we really haven't seen much weather here in January. It's felt really spring-like, and we definitely need the rain and hopefully even some mountain snow. And let's check in with Kev to see where that storm is headed and when it could hit us. Kev?
Well, Maddie, it's not a storm. It will be storms that will be heading our way starting Friday. But in the short term here, we are looking at another beautiful day. So if you've not been outside to enjoy this sunny weather and above average temperature weather, well, get out and do it today before things really start to change. And it's change in a good way because we've been in a deficit. As you can see on the satellite and radar, nothing to show you right now. We are looking at a sunny day all around. The other thing we're looking at is much calmer winds. And you can see there's hardly any wind around the Kern County area at this time. We've got a current temperature of 42 degrees, a light wind out of the east at 3. And as we take a look at the temperatures today, we will be into the upper 60s under sunny skies, so get out and enjoy it. Into the Tehachapi area, we're at 31 degrees right now under a calm wind. And as we take a look at the hour by hour here, lots of sunshine for you throughout the day. And we'll be looking at the mid to upper 70s. I mean, 70s, don't you wish? Mid to upper 50s. But again, we've got some big changes on the way. I've got more details on that in just a little bit. I'm sure you'd love to see the 70s up your way, Maddie.
All right, Kev, thanks. Taking a live look at the White House now, and with inauguration now in the rearview mirror, the Biden-Harris administration is making big changes quickly. Tracy Potts is on Capitol Hill with a look ahead at what's in store for the first 100 days.
Alex, good morning. President Biden's day begins with the National Prayer Service. Then it's back to work, reversing Trump policies and creating some new ones.
President of the United States.
The Biden administration's first full day.
We're not wasting any time.
Promising at last night's inaugural celebration to meet the moment.
The pandemic, economic crisis, racial injustice, the climate crisis, and threats to our very democracy.
President Biden signed more than a dozen executive orders on day one, ending the Muslim travel ban, stopping border wall construction, requiring masks on federal property, and rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement and World Health Organization.
There's no time to start like today.
More orders are coming to help schools and businesses reopen and reverse the ban on transgender persons in the military. He's already getting pushback from some Republicans.
But I didn't find any of the orders that I agreed with, and I think many of the orders that he came forward with will lead to unemployment.
President Biden needs Congress to pass his immigration bill, creating a path to citizenship for undocumented immigrants, to approve his $1.9 trillion COVID relief plan, and to confirm his cabinet. Nominees for transportation and defense are being considered today.
Do you solemnly swear?
Vice President Kamala Harris promising to carry out his vision on Capitol Hill.
The courage to see beyond crisis, to do what is hard, to do what is good.
She's the tiebreaker in what's already shaping up to be a fierce battle in the Senate. President Biden is actually extending some Trump policies, like the ban on evictions that now goes until the end of March, and stopping student loan payments. That's now extended through the end of September. From Capitol Hill, Tracy Potts, 17 News.
Kern County leaders Kevin McCarthy and David Valadao attended yesterday's inauguration. McCarthy and Democratic Majority Leader Hoyer gifted the new president and vice president with a framed picture of the inauguration ceremony. Republican Congressman David Valadao was one of 18 House GOP members to sign a letter to the new administration, saying in part, "We hope that we can rise above the partisan fray to negotiate meaningful change for Americans across the nation and maintain the United States standing as the best country in the world." And a Central Valley icon is now on full display at the White House. A bronze bust of Cesar Chavez is decorating President Joe Biden's Oval Office. The Chavez Foundation posted these photos online. The statue had been at the visitor center of the Cesar Chavez National Monument, but it was moved into the Oval Office yesterday. Chavez's son and president of the foundation says having the bust there is a symbol of hope for the United States. President Joe Biden focused on unity and healing during his inaugural address, saying, quote, "His whole soul is bringing America together." The president added that our nation faces several challenges, including the COVID-19 pandemic and deep political divisions. He vowed to be a president for all Americans, whether you support him or not. Former Presidents Clinton, Obama, and Bush also came together and echoed the president's message of unity.
So this is an unusual thing. We are both trying to come back to normalcy, deal with totally abnormal challenges.
We've got to not just listen to folks we agree with, but listen to folks we don't.
From our 17 News follow-up file, a woman wanted for several months for a fatal stabbing in Bakersfield has been arrested. 20-year-old Jennifer Maldonado was booked into jail yesterday for first-degree murder. Maldonado has been wanted since last May for the killing of 26-year-old Angelina Betts. According to BPD, Betts was stabbed after an altercation on East 9th Street. At the time, neighbors told 17 News it sounded like a big fight. As Betts was being driven to a hospital, the vehicle she was in crashed at the intersection of Niles Street and Mount Vernon Avenue. But police believe it was the stab wound that killed her. Maldonado was arrested in the 2000 block of South Chester Avenue. She's due in court tomorrow. It's been exactly 31 days since 3-year-old Orson and 4-year-old Oren West were reported missing in California City. Chief of Police John Walker says his department's 13 officers are following every tip that they receive.
We've questioned multiple people, we've searched multiple places, and we're following up on almost every clue or tip that we get. So at this point, we have nothing that actually shows us or proves to us what happened to the boys or where they're at.
The last people who reportedly saw the two boys were the adoptive parents, Trezell and Jacqueline West. But Chief Walker says it's not likely the boys just walked out of the house and went missing on their own. He says the police are still in contact with the adoptive parents, who the chief said have been cooperative throughout the investigation. He also confirmed that they are no longer in their home and are now staying in Bakersfield. California City Police previously had 4 supporting agencies on the investigation. Now that's down to 2, the FBI and Bakersfield Police. So far, they've found nothing significant. However, he says this case is far from getting cold.
We're not at a point now that we're exhausted or want to give up. The longer it takes, obviously, the less chance that we're going to find them. But I still have hope and I still have confidence that we will.
For the full interview with Chief Walker, you can go to our website, kget.com. 17 Court Watch now. Convicted murderer Jamie Osuna has been deemed incompetent to stand trial. Osuna was convicted in the 2011 murder of a woman in Bakersfield and yesterday was found incompetent to stand trial in the grisly killing of his cellmate 2 years ago. Kings County Judge Randy Edwards made the finding after listening to testimony from 2 psychiatrists who determined Osuna did not understand the criminal proceedings against him and could not assist his legal team in the preparation of a defense. Criminal proceedings are now suspended until 32-year-old Osuna is restored to competency. Those efforts will begin following a February 10th hearing. We took a deep dive into Osuna's life and the lives of his victims in our award-winning podcast, The Man with 1,000 Faces. You can listen to it on Apple, Spotify, and other sites. Just go to 1000facespodcast.com for more information. 5:09 now, a 26-year-old man is dead in after a crash on Laredo Highway, northwest of Buttonwillow, Wednesday morning. California Patrol says that the Kia SUV was headed east on Laredo Highway near Main Drain Road, while a Honda sedan was headed west around 6:15. CHP says the Honda was weaving in and out of the lanes when it crossed over the yellow line and crashed head on into the Kia. The driver of the Honda died on impact. CHP says the driver may have suffered a medical emergency before the crash. They're continuing to investigate. The driver of the Kia was taken to the hospital with moderate injuries.
From your 17 roadwork file, a stretch of California Avenue will close down tonight in both directions for an improvement project. Crews will be installing false work, a temporary construction, to support a structure until that structure is finished. Both directions of California Avenue will close at Easton Drive from 9 o'clock tonight until 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. Traffic will be routed over to Truxton Avenue.
Your time is 5:20, making headlines around the country this morning. The National Guard says 3 soldiers were killed in a helicopter crash in Mendon, New York last night.
At about 6:32 p.m., we received multiple 911 calls for aircraft in distress. First responders arrived on scene at about the 1300 block of West Bloomfield Road shortly thereafter and did find an aircraft crash. They went into life-saving mode, trying to rescue anybody that could be on that aircraft or in the area.
The Army National Guard helicopter crashed while on a routine training mission, according to the New York State Division of Military and Naval Affairs. There were 3 soldiers on board at the time and all died in the crash. The cause is under investigation by both the FAA and National Guard. Anti-government demonstrators smashed windows at the Democratic Party of Oregon building in Portland yesterday. The vandalism took place just hours following President Joe Biden's inauguration. The group responsible for the damage marched through parts of the city Wednesday evening. There were at least 100 people, many dressed in all black. Marchers held banners that had various messages, including "We are ungovernable" and "A new world from the ashes." At least 8 people were arrested.
Authorities across the country braced themselves for protests at the state capitol buildings yesterday as Donald Trump left office and Joe Biden was sworn in as the 46th president of the United States. But in New York, it turned out to be just one guy with a flag. Mark Legerio said he drove 45 minutes hoping to join thousands of like-minded protesters at the Capitol in Albany. Clad in a Trump shirt and holding a Trump flag, Legerio stood clearly alone in front of the imposing and fenced-off Capitol building.
I was hoping to find a few thousand people here doing a peaceful protest to try to get our voices heard, Here I am by myself. I'm out here with nothing but peaceful intentions and to be peaceful. I wanted, everything to be peaceful.
Legerio said he was not able to go to the U.S. Capitol 2 weeks ago.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back here at 5:25. The 2021 Talent Trends Report released by Randstad SourceRight shows that businesses continue to struggle to find qualified talent. That's despite millions of individuals looking to re-enter the workforce in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. The survey found 40% of HR leaders continue to experience talent scarcity in information technology. 28% say they can't find enough qualified candidates for HR roles, and nearly 1 in 5 need more finance and accounting specialists.
Saving more has consistently been a top financial resolution for the new year, but some Americans may be forced to reach that goal a little differently in 2021. CNBC's senior personal finance correspondent, Sharon Epperson, has more.
31-year-old Angel Trin works in cybersecurity. Her main focus this year, her own economic security.
My top goals for 2021 is to actually be better about investing.
She's saving as much as she can in her retirement accounts now so that she's well prepared later.
I have to play catch up. Now, after I paid off all my student loan debt, I can now max out my investments.
The maximum you can contribute to an IRA this year is $6,000. You can put away up to $19,500 in your 401k. If you're 50 or older, you can add catch-up contributions to both. An additional $1,000 for an IRA and an extra $6,500 in a 401k. Trin's retirement savings are mostly in target date funds, which automatically rebalance from stocks to bonds as you get closer to your retirement date. This year, she wants to start investing on her own.
It's definitely one of my resolutions. Of course, investing is risky, but at the same time, the bigger the risk, the bigger the return.
Financial advisor Roger Ma, author of Work Your Money, Not Your Life, says focus on what you can control in the investment landscape.
What you're invested in, how much you pay to invest, and where you put each of those investments, what type of accounts you use.
Then build on what you already own. Advice Trin hopes will help her with her ultimate goal.
I want to retire with a lot of money and be financially free.
Sharon Epperson, CNBC Business News.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.